You're listening to The Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.
It is National Lutheran Schools Week, and we are having so much fun meeting students from Lutheran schools all across the country this week. Today, we get to head to Cornelius, Oregon, and meet students from Forest Hills Lutheran Christian School. We are so excited to share this story with you. Thanks to Concordia University, Wisconsin, for your support of The Coffee Hour. Find out more about Concordia University, Wisconsin at cuw.edu.
Live uncommon.
Joining us today, Mike Schiemann, principal at Forest Hills Lutheran Christian School in Cornelius, Oregon. Mr. Schiemann, welcome to the Coffee Hour.
Good morning. Thanks. It's great to be with you this morning.
It is a delight to have you and your students joining us today. Let's go around the room. We'll start with fifth grade and work our way up to eighth grade. Joining us today is Parker. Good morning, Parker. Thanks for being our guest.
Good morning.
And in sixth grade, we have Shani with us today. Shani, thanks for joining us on the Coffee Hour.
Good morning.
And also joining us, Alina in seventh grade. Alina, welcome.
Good morning.
And Micah in eighth grade. Micah, welcome to the Coffee Hour.
Good morning. Thank you.
Well, I would love to learn about your life as students at Forest Hills Lutheran Christian School. Let's go to seventh grade first. Alina, tell us, why did your family choose Forest Hills Lutheran Christian School for you?
My family chose Forest Hills because it is a safe environment and the teachers really care about their students and give their undivided attention to us.
Wonderful. Micah, how about you? Why did your family choose Forest Hills Lutheran Christian School?
Well, it is relatively close to my house, and the school isn't necessarily in a close neighborhood to other people, so that was definitely nice. But I don't know, it's a very nice school. My parents did want like a nice Christian education for me, and they found it, in my opinion. We love it, still love it. It's amazing. Definitely a life-changing experience, in my opinion.
Parker, tell us, why did your family choose Forest Hills Lutheran Christian School?
So I can learn about God and find out what I like to do and learn other stuff that I will need later in life and to make new friends.
Very good. Very good. Shani, how about you? Why did your family choose Forest Hills Lutheran Christian School for you?
I think my family chose that for me is because I really like being able to have teachers and friends who give me their attention, who let me say what I need to say, let me be who I am. And I think that it's just really important to have this Christian family because if you ever get lost and you can't find yourself, you'll always have a Christian family that you can come back to.
So what does a typical day look like in the life of a student at Forest Hills Lutheran Christian School? Let's see. Let's start with Micah in eighth grade. What does eighth grade look like for you, Micah?
Well, typical day, Christian studies always first, then ELA, then either a PE or a social studies class, followed by science, then a very nice lunch where we, at least in eighth grade, we watch documentaries about the 50 states,
Nice.
And then have a small recess in a very, very cold yard. It was snowing yesterday. Let's just say I had very cold feet afterwards. And then chill math. Math is definitely a very nice way to end the day, in my opinion.
Very, very nice. Alina, what about you in seventh grade? What does seventh grade look like for you?
Well, personally, I still do distance learning. So I get up on Tuesdays and Thursday mornings to go on a Zoom call with one of my teachers and a few other students, and we talk about each of our subjects and then go off and do homework and email our teachers if we have questions.
Very nice. And Shani, what about you in sixth grade?
This is actually my first year in 6th grade, so it's very exciting. My first subject is Christian Studies, and then we go to math, which I really enjoy, and then we have science, which is also super awesome, and then we have PE or social studies, and then to end our, well, not end, but we have recess and then ELA, which is our last class of the day, which I really enjoy too. So I love all my classes in middle school. So yeah.
That's fantastic. And Parker, what about you in 5th grade? What does your day look like in 5th grade?
I get to school and we basically talk about what the day is going to look like and do growth mindset. And then eventually, after we do some other stuff, usually vocabulary and reading, we go out to recess, and then we have lunch and watch a movie during lunch. And then we have some other stuff, and then we go out to recess again. Then we have more stuff, and then we go home.
Sounds like a busy day. Okay, I think I heard at least 2 people mention ELA. Forgive me for not knowing what ELA is, but I'm guessing some of our listeners might not know what ELA is as well. I think, Micah, you might have mentioned it first. What is ELA?
ELA is English language arts. Sorry.
Oh, very good.
Yep.
I kind of guessed it might be that, but I wanted to find out for sure. Very good. All right. Well, let's dig deeper in to that. Since you mentioned your classes, what has been your most challenging class? Shani, what's been your most challenging class this year? I think you mentioned this is your first year there. What's been your most challenging class?
For my first year of middle school, I don't actually know. I mean, I think it would either be English or math, because those are my 2 hardest subjects, because math is just, sometimes it gets hard. And ELA, you just have a whole bunch of work to do. We're in the middle of finishing up an essay, so there's a lot to get done in not a lot amount of time. So yeah.
Parker, how about you? What would you say has been your hardest class or most challenging class so far?
Math, because we've been doing lots of long division, and that can sometimes become very challenging.
Alina, what do you say? What's the most challenging class so far?
I think mine is definitely a clear choice, math, because I don't know, I've not ever really been amazing, one of those great math people, but I am able to email my teacher so we can communicate and develop strategies to help me.
Very good. Micah, how about you? What has been the most challenging course for you?
This is a pretty hard question, particularly because I've never, at least this year, the classes have seemed pretty laid back and easy, in my opinion. I've struggled a bit in math, but I kind of roped that down, bumped the grade back up. But ELA has proven to really challenge me with my creativity recently in finishing up a paper, which was fun. So probably those 2.
Now, I think several of you mentioned how much you love math, and then you all mentioned that it was the most challenging class. I think each one of you mentioned that it was the most challenging class as well. So you must have an amazing math teacher. Who's your math teacher, Micah?
Oh, the famed, the fabulous, the wonderful Mr. P.
Oh, that sounds fun. Math was also my hardest, but also one of my favorite classes because it was hard and teachers were amazing. So when do you get to learn about Christ and his love for you during your school day at Forest Hills Lutheran Christian School? Parker, why don't you start this one?
We learn about Christ through chapel and class conversation and reading the Bible.
Mm-hmm. Shani, when do you get to learn about Jesus during your school day?
Well, we have chapel on Wednesdays, so we learn about God then, and every morning we have a Bible class, which we are right now learning about Moses, and we're in Exodus right now. So that's been really fun. And so we learn about it every day pretty much. And I think that's really exciting.
Mm-hmm. Alina, what about you? When do you learn about Jesus during your day?
Well, like Parker and Shani said, chapel every Wednesday. But I also think that these teachers are really great at accommodating Christ into even our subjects that aren't Christian necessarily. Like language arts is one of my favorites, for example. And I think Mrs. Moeller, our language arts teacher, does a really great job at accommodating his miracles and stories into her lessons.
Mm-hmm. And Micah, what about you? When do you get to learn about Jesus during your day?
Well, every Wednesday we do get chapel, and then the first period every morning, our class takes about 10 minutes to look at devotions and then share our thoughts. The thoughts can range from "this person seems interesting" to "this verse really touched me." Mine are normally more the comedic thoughts that don't help at all, but I find it fun to point them out. Then after that, we look at stories in the Bible currently, and I believe to the end of the year, we are going to be looking at Acts and taking notes, and then having one big final test, which I don't know if I'm excited for it or if I'm completely terrified, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, speaking of tests, we won't question you all anymore. We're going to move over to Mr. Schiemann and ask him the hard questions now. Thank you all. You fantastic answers, and it sounds like you've had a great experience at Forest Hills Lutheran Christian School. Let's talk about Mr. Schiemann's experience. What do you love about being a Lutheran educator, Mr. Schiemann?
I absolutely love the fact that you do get to incorporate the word into everything that you do with the kids. That we can teach them all about the world around them, but what we teach is something that touches to eternity. And so, to be able to share the love of God in Jesus with them through words, through actions, through the environment is just such a blessing and a great opportunity for all these kids.
I would think that to say the last school year and this current school year have been challenging is probably an understatement. But being a principal, being an educator in a Lutheran school, the fact that you're spending time with us this morning means that you are pressing on and in your vocation. Who encourages you in your vocation? What do your students do that keeps you going in what you do every day, Mr. Schiemann?
I've just been amazed to see the resiliency in the kids. We've thrown a lot of different things at them in the strangest school year in modern history, and they've done a great job. And they can take all of these challenges and really turn them into advantages. They've seen opportunity after opportunity to learn different things. And as we try things as a staff and say, we think this is what's best for the kids, and we see how it works with them and how it continues to guide them and provide a stability in an unknown time. It's been a real blessing, and that's what keeps me going is seeing the smiles on the faces of all of our kids, even if it is just in their eyes because they're wearing masks.
Oh, Mr. Mike Schiemann, principal, Forest Hills Lutheran Christian School in Cornelius, Oregon. Mike, thanks so much for being our guest on the Coffee Hour today.
Thanks so much, Andy, and thanks, Sarah. It's great to spend some time with you.
Parker, thanks so much for being our guest today on the Coffee Hour.
You're welcome.
And Shani, thanks for joining us here this morning.
Thank you. I was definitely happy to be here.
Alina, thanks for being our guest on the Coffee Hour today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
And Micah, it was a pleasure to talk with you today. Thanks for being our guest.
Welcome. Thanks for having me.
You've been listening to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.